Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like that thing is on. The one place no human should be on a Saturday morning. Work. Oh man, at least it's going to be a nice day out. Too bad 9 hours of the day I will be in there watching time fly by. I actually caught a people off guard the other day. They were going on about this, and they're like, "Well, look at all the money we're making. Look at all this." I'm like, "And well, I'm getting all this overtime." And I go, "That's the key word, isn't it?" And they're like, "What?" I said, "Time. Money can be printed, and these days you don't even see it printed anymore. It's just a number on a screen. Yet they can never give you back the time they've taken from you. That's just gone." And they're like I just said some kind of weird Einstein, mathematical formula of the universe shit. It's like everybody should know this. I think I said the words mandatory should never have been allowed into any workplace. Beyond the time you've already worked during the week. And to me, I just never could get how this was allowed ever. You have to remember, yeah, the point of the whole thing is, according to what we used to see, back in the day, if you look at the old like news reels and videos of the future, it's funny how in a lot of other countries it came to pass, just not here in the greatest nation in the world, that we were supposed to have a shorter work week with more pay and all that, and look at how much that worked out for everybody. More people now are working more hours just to keep food on the table and a roof over their head. It's just sad. And also now your company can go mandatory Saturdays. I lost a job over that once because I showed up for the a little bit late for the mandatory Saturday, and I'm like, oh god, that's a longer story. Oh well, let's give you a quick brief. A friend of mine offered to change my tires for me, and dummy me said, "Okay, you can do it." I had to be at work that afternoon at like 2:30. So I go in there. He goes, takes, we go over to his garage. He goes, "Look, they said no problem with it. Okay, fine." It takes him all day to get the tires on. I was literally there by like 9 o'clock that morning. He just barely finished it. And I'm trying not to complain because, hey, it's free. I had just enough time to go straight back to work. My wife had to bring me my lunch. No, wait, that's right. No, that was a different time because that's right. We only had one car between the two of us. So I had to drive straight back, made it just the time to work. And we only had one car at the time between the two of us. So that's right. I swung by the place. I picked up basically enough for a lunch and something to drink. Threw it in my bag and ran off. Got to work just in time. Just as I'm pulling into the parking lot, I start to notice. I get out. Sure enough, two of the tires are now approaching flat, and the other two are on their way. Now, in other words, he botched the job. He didn't clean the rims before he put the tires back on, and they were leaking like sieves. So I went in there and I told the boss, "Look, I can't afford to have a tow truck or whatever come out here and fix this car, at wait around midnight when we get out of here tonight, especially with it being a Saturday." And I said, "Look, I got to go get these tires fixed, or I got to put more air in them and get them somewhere they can be fixed, or otherwise I'm not going to be able to go home tonight. I'm going to be literally walking home." And they charged me for that. Plus, a couple of, like I said, it was just mandatory Saturday should have never existed. It's that simple. It's just company using you to make up for their production loss, and rather than put on another shift or something like that, they'll work you all to death. Well, okay, but that's a whole other thing. All right, Doctor Who is a mess. Well, gosh, well, at least that's the reports. People are still throwing a fit over Legend of the Sea Devils and the 2.2 million viewers. I love this. Is undefendable. Yet these are the same guys who complain about the show and then go out and buy the DVD box sets. I die live, or the Blu-ray box sets of it when it comes out. All right. Here's the other one I heard last week. They misspelled Malcolm Hulk's name in the end credits, and I'm sitting there going, the episode was terrible, but you sat there and went through all of the end credits to make sure Malcolm Hulk's name was in the credits, and then they misspelled it by one letter, which could have happened to anybody. You have to remember, it's been many years since the Sea Devils have popped up anywhere, and I get ready for this. I hope they correct this before the Blu-ray release. What? So let me get this straight. If somebody's name is misspelled in the end credits of an episode, it's going to ruin your viewing experience. Oh, please. Oh, man. Now, I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about what went wrong with Legend of the Sea Devils. Now, as somebody brought up in the comments this last week, and I didn't even think of that, this was the first long weekend in the UK, all right, where they've had no lockdown restrictions or travel restrictions. And a lot of people don't seem to think that would play a factor either. So there were a lot of families out there for the first time in months actually had a long weekend. They'll go out and travel without restrictions or masks or anything like that. So there's a good chance a lot of people weren't even watching TV that night. They may have been out enjoying the weather, doing whatever and all that, because, they've been under lockdown, this and that for, a couple of years now. So now, okay, wow, we can go do what we want. Let's get the heck out of the house. All right. Oh, great. Now my allergies are kicking in. The only negative effect of me, well, then again, I get allergies in bad weather, so I don't. It's going to be like 80 degrees before we get out of here today, and it's just hard to wrap my head around. It's always every year, you walk out, it's like, a minute ago, I was freezing my little nippies off. Now it's like burning my brains out, out here. It's like, sheesh. You see, I could be doing other productive things this morning, like mowing the lawn, scratching my various parts, watching game shows or something, and it's like, now I'm going to be stuck in here for 9 hours. But, okay, now, back on subject. Word is, like I said, I've heard all kinds of different explanations for why like I said, one of the things I had a problem with, and we'll be recording Omega Files later today, is that there was a lot of choppy editing because they were trying to lean towards a regeneration in this episode, and I think what happened is they had to chop those bits out. Not to mention, I heard that there were certain parts that they felt would offend the Chinese, which is one of their largest out of market, one of the largest buyers for the overseas market. So they had to chop it out. And I think that's what led to a lot of the bad editing that happened, is a couple different things. And it's like, see, this is what happens. I might offend someone. We better edit. Oh, goodness gracious. Ugh. Talons of Wang Chiang, and it's way call it tropes. Oh, God. I love it when somebody looks back on a show that was probably filmed, a lifetime before they were born and declare it racist. It's like, you weren't there for the filming of that episode, King Baby Genius. Oh, well. Yeah, that too. Like I said, you have to factor in streaming. Nobody does that anymore. I tried to explain this on another podcast, and they kept trying to cut me off. I'm like, no, I'd like to finish my point the same way anyone else would in this special, this what you do here. I said everybody is holding back to the idea, like Voyage of the Damned. It was a special we had a while ago, And then immediately I mentioned Voyage of the Damned, and they're like, I'm like, no, can I finish my point? And it had a huge ton of viewers. It was like, and everybody's like, okay, we need that again. And I'm like, well, you're never going to get that again, because how many streaming services were around when Voyage of the Damned aired? There was no BritBox, there was no Pluto TV, there was no what you call it. None of that existed yet. If you wanted to watch Doctor Who, you had to watch it that night or tape it or DVR it or whatever you did. There was no streaming service to watch it on then. Oh well, I got to get running in. I just realized how late it is. All right, so keep in mind a couple things. There was a lot of factors in play here that they're not taking into account, because remember, everything boils down to Jodie must go, and which makes me die laughing, because somebody was ranting on about that again. I'm like, guys, Jodie left last October. She's gone. She's done. But of course, her, and the timeless children are eating my childhood. Oh God. All right, everybody. Well, I'll catch you all later today. Well, I'm going to record it later today, and then the Omega files will be up probably either tomorrow at the latest, hopefully Monday. So take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you on the flip side. I got to run. Have a good one, everybody.